Okay, all right, guys. I was looking around for some of my apprentices for some decent videos on maintenance, and I thought I'd just do a few videos of replacement of tap washers and stripping them down and whatever. I went to my shed. I've had a bit of a clean out and ain't got much there. I come across this here. All know that's a hose union tap. I'll be honest with you, I have split it, and it's a good job I did, because it was so tight. Took all my might to do that. It's always a good thing when fitting any taps that you just crack the headgear, because when someone comes along to do any maintenance, it makes it much easier for them. If that's tight, especially with basin taps, you could break the basin. And sometimes I've done it a few times. I've had to take the taps right out, back taps and whatever, to get some purchase on to release the headgear. So it's always good. Release the headgear, put a bit of silicone grease around it, tighten it up, it's good to go. Anyway, so I just want to show you, this is a hose union tap, rising spindle, same as a stop tap. You do get these on basins and sinks, but they're chrome and they've got a bonnet on, and that would have a thread around it, and you unscrew it or pop it off, and you get a spanner in to take the headgear off. I just take the headgear off here, and I know that you guys, if you had a problem with someone complaining of a tap dripping like this, hose union tap dripping, you'd probably replace it. It's like, just unscrew it, turn the water off, unscrew it, and put a new one on. But I just want to show you how this goes. This goes for all taps, rising spindle. So first thing we're going to look at is seating in now. Don't know if you can see that. All nice and clean. If there was any sort of cracks in that, we would get a reseating tool, and we'd reseat a new seating on that. That's that bit, and you can see the water comes up there, so it's going through there, it comes up there onto the seating, and this washer sits onto that seating, stops the water coming. So the washer there is sitting on what we call a jumper. If I was to get a screwdriver and prise that up, it'd come loose. It's a fixed jumper, this one, and it just pops off like that, and you could put a new one on. Always make sure, because I know some do-it-yourself people probably be looking at this, and when you put a new washer on, some of them, there's some writing around. The writing always goes on the back, because if you had the writing this way up, it's going to leak. So that's the headgear. I mean, sometimes you will get the tap when it's turned on full, leaking from the packing gland, and that's just undo it, put some PTFE tape round, and do it back up again, and that stops that leaking. But just be careful when you're tightening this up. If you do it too tight, it'll be very stiff, very difficult to turn off. If you put a bit of tape in there and it's still leaking, just want a little bit more. That's the packing gland. Let me just show you, not that you will probably ever have to do this on this type of tap, but if it's stiff, you're having problems with it, let me just show you how it all breaks down. You can take that's your packing box, look, and you pack PTFE around there, wrap it around, pack it in. Take that all out, that's the spindle. Push it off, there you go. So a little bit of emery cloth, you could make sure you don't get no flat ends on there. Get that lime scale off. You could use a bit of silicone grease. I like this Black Swan, and you could put that into the thread, just grease it up a little bit, only a bit, not too much, don't go mad. and then put the tap back in. And when you put the tap back in, always make sure you bring the spindle right up, because if you left it down and you try to put the headgear in, it might be too much and it'll break the spindle. We don't want to do that, so bring it right up. You've done your packing, and make sure you got your washer on there, and then we're just going to pop it back. Should use a spanner really, but put the clutch on top, and a screw. If you're working on a base or anything, it's always good to put the plug in so you don't lose anything. And then you just tighten that up accordingly. Yeah. Before I turn it on, especially if you reseat it, don't push it right down straight away. Turn the water on, wash it out, and then you can turn the tap off. Just in case there's a little bit of metal there and you don't want it going bedding into the washer. And that is how you rewash a rising spindle tap. Okay, thank you very much. Good luck. Next one up, non-rising spindle.